So I want to give you some of my top tips on how to actually give feedback to parents, some do's, some don'ts, and some things that you should think about. So the first thing that I want to say is try hard to address parents by their name. Try to learn the names of the parents of your key children. Try to check the name of the parent that you're going to leave a voice note for or call before you speak to them. Obviously, that's harder if you are just seeing them at the end of the day at dismissal when you're letting the children go. But try to learn the children's names, so their parents' names, so you can address the parents by name as well. And you can always say, "Hi, Mum of Dan," if you don't know their name. One of the things I always do with subbers and sufters is I always call them sufter. There's very, very few sufters that I actually know by name, but they all think I know them because I call them sufter. "Hi, sufter, how are you? Nice to see you." And that kind of energy, that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of warmth when you speak to parents is really important. Just be careful, though, that you don't switch into being kissy or cuddles or things like that. We don't touch the parents at all, but we smile, we have open body language, we listen attentively to what they're saying, we make eye contact with them. That is one of the most important things if we're face to face with parents, that we make eye contact with them, even if we feel a bit nervous, even if we need to deliver or say something that's not that comfortable. By maintaining eye contact with parents, and by smiling, and if you are finding something difficult, you can actually recognize that and say, "Oh, I'm finding this conversation a little bit difficult because," and say what you're feeling, and that will also have help the parents have empathy for you. And staying professional is a big part of the deal when you're speaking to parents. Choosing professional language, so for example, choosing the right words for things, the right words for body parts, using language that is the professional language of the early years sector. When you're talking to parents, always, however terrible the day has been, whatever awful news you want to give about how many children their child has bitten today, always start with something positive. Always start on a positive note and highlight the things that have been great about the day, and be as specific as you can for the child that you're talking about. You can also use the feedback sandwich, or as Emma calls it, the shit sandwich. But the feedback sandwich is essentially about starting with something very positive, specific and positive, then saying, delivering the kind of bad news or the critical news, and then ending on a really positive note again. For example, you might say, "It was wonderful to have Barack in Elephants today. When he came in this morning, he chose his name independently and his handwriting is really, really improving. He did the B the right way round today, which was amazing to see. He had a little bit of difficulty when we were out in the garden with his self-control. One of the other children took something that he was playing with, and he bit the child. When we went back to the classroom after we spoke to Barack in the afternoon, he then chose a book, and he actually read a book to one of the other children. And also at snack time, he was really independent with making his own snack, and he also shared his sandwich with the person that was next to him. So that was really, really lovely to see. So you see, what I did there was the feedback sandwich. And I also said to the parent how we resolved the situation as well. And that could have been a voice note, or that could have been face-to-face communication. When you're with the parents and speaking to them, you should ask them how they are, how their day was, when you call them, hi, how are you? Is this a good time to talk? Is everything going okay? How's your day been? You can do that face to face as well while you're waiting for the children to come out. One other thing that I want to say when you're giving feedback about the children is, don't be afraid if you don't know something. Don't be frightened into making something up if you don't know it. You can say, I'm not sure about that, or you can say, let me double check, or you can say, let me get back to you, or you can say, can I call you back to talk about that because I just want to check something first. Or you can say, I'd like to pass that on to that's a great question, and I would feel much more comfortable if I pass that on to my team leader. So I'm going to ask Monica or Kinga to get back to you and to speak to you about that specific question. But thank you so much for asking. It's really important that you have the opportunity to ask anything you want. But this particular question, I think, would be better answered by Monica. Never say what you think in terms of a child's development, or what you think in terms of a child's diagnosis, or what might be wrong, or what might be going on, or present the facts, present your observations, but don't get trapped into saying something like, oh, that sounds like it might be on the autistic spectrum, or yes, I'm very worried about this, that, or the other, or it could be this, or avoid all of that. Present the facts, present your findings, share your observations with parents, and if you have a developmental concern, you talk to your team leader about that, and together, with the support of the manager, you approach a parent to talk about a concern about a specific developmental issue. Of course, you can, on a daily basis, share your observations that might then lead up to having a conversation to say, we have a deeper concern. And if there's one takeaway that I want you to have for this course, tell stories to the parents about cute, funny, amazing little things that the child did, the child said, so that the parents can really see that you know the child, that you're spending time with the child, and you have things of value, of worth to share with the parents. They will really enjoy hearing little funny stories about what they've been up to while they've been at GAN.